Hello. Welcome in. First ever college football last call live show in the afternoon. Figure out more words to add to the title. But we are here. Actually, just me today. It's going to be me for most of the shows. Your host, Xander, for a weekly live show here at 5:30 Eastern Time every Friday. Obviously, a little bit of a slimmer slate this week, just kicking off a little appetizer week 0 before we head into a full slate next week, week 1. We'll obviously have a lot more to cover when it comes to updates on any sort of injuries, line movement, breaking news before you get those wagers in last second on Saturday morning or Friday night. That's the idea of the show. Also, talk a little shit with anyone that ends up joining the chat. So, lighter schedule, usually about 30 to 45 minutes worth of content here on a Friday. Might be a little shorter than that this week, but let's get into it. 4 games we're going to talk about. We can mention the 5th game if anyone cares about UNLV, Idaho State. I've got a play in that, but it's a dome, so we don't need to upgrade any sort of weather. Let's just talk about let's get a look at what the Joes are looking at here. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So this is a great tool. Shout out to Action Network. User of Action Network last couple years. Just really appreciate the insight to the actual percentage of money being spread across and just an insight of any sort of sharp line movements, which we'll talk about. There were a couple line movements since our show on Wednesday. So it actually did affect a few of the lines that we gave out. So we'll point those out. First of all, the big game, Farmageddon, 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow, I believe 5 p.m. local time in Dublin. It's itching towards 3.5. We're locked in at 3 on Kansas State, Alex and myself. When I look at this game, you want to be on that key number there. It doesn't really feel comfortable. Iowa State, we're getting a lot of money towards the Wildcats, and a lot of the talking heads are also pointing out the Wildcats, which got to be uneasy week 0. We all can't be on the same side. I mean, that's just betting 101. You could throw any sort of statistic out the window when all the pundits are on the same side. Week 0 with no eye test of anyone besides spring games, and whoever showed up to practice, that's a guaranteed loss 100% of the time. All right, let's look at the total. Yeah, total's getting hammered. It was 50.5 yesterday. Last night when I checked, it's up to 51.5 now. I think we got a lot of sharp movement coming in on that line. Let's see here. No, so sharp movement went away. Seems like a sucker move there. A lot of the public is on that over. Oh, hold on. We were on the spread. Yeah, so all that big money, 90% of the money is on the over. Alex Mayer, my co-host on our weekly show, he's on the under. I would tend to lean the under as well. Don't let what Iowa State did to close out the year last year with a decimated defense fool you into any sort of shootout. Let's be easy now. We're not chasing overs and favorites for the entire year off the bat. Oh, okay. All right. Let's talk about this game. Let's see it here. All right. Injuries wise, this is a Big 12 game. So why that's important. Big 12 this year is implementing a injury report. So this is as of Thursday. Teams are required to list, like you'd see in an NFL injury report, out, questionable. Obviously, week 0, not going to be many surprises on the injury report when it comes to anyone. But in non-conference games for Big 12, they're not required to. So when we talk about Kansas next, it was a little more read between the lines of who's potentially out this week and what that means. But freshman place kicker for Kansas State out. Then their third string kicker's out as well. So hopefully nothing happens to the starting kicker. They could be thin at that position. Notable, they do have a starting lineman. George Fitzpatrick is out, and then backup lineman Michael Capria is out. So there's a few other players that are a little deeper in the depth chart on the line that are currently listed as out, and that's on both sides. I believe both sides had 5 offensive linemen listed in the out category. But Iowa State, as you can see, 2 guards there. Trevor Buer is a starting guard, and then Dalen Hassert is a backup guard. Those with 3 other guards that, or not guards, tackles tagged with them. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go to next man up this early in the season. Let's hope for a healthy game, but both lines are going to be tested early and often, and they're going to need them. Kansas State's going to want to run the ball a lot, so just hopefully that that doesn't show any detriment to week 1. As you can see here, I made this graphic this morning. Line movement from 49 to 50. It's up to 51. So it's just going to keep chasing. If you like the under, yeah, I'd just kind of hold off a little bit. It'll probably settle at 51. We're less than 24 hours till the kickoff. So, I mean, I don't see much more of a push, but yeah, under City, boys. Under City. 2 plays on the card here. We've got Alex, Kansas State, and the under on the game. Then myself, we have the goofball bets to start off the year. First quarter over 6.5 team total for Kansas State, minus 125. And then you've got the team exacta. This is actually up now, 7-3 Kansas State, 7 Iowa State 3. This is up to 22-1. And let me show you all how you can do this. Let me share my DraftKings. All right. Here we go. All right. What the hell? All right. All right, there we go. All right, DraftKings. That's our 6-win parlay to the right. All right, you go to the game and you go to quarters. You scroll down. Way too many bets for one quarter. That's insane. But they got to build your own here. So we're going Kansas State 7, Iowa State 3, 22-1. And then 15-1 if both teams score a touchdown. It sits there. Listen, this is not a weekly. We're not betting first quarter, make your own exact parlays. This is the first game of week 0 of the year. We're going to get a little spicy with some early morning. Let's try and hit a 22-1 bet before noon if you're anywhere besides the East Coast. Why the hell not? We got a whole year to bankroll management. We got 15 weeks of bankroll management. Let's have a little fun. Gambling is about fun as well. All right. Okay, that's our last bet for that game. Next up, so Kansas stay in the Big 12, host Fresno State. Big game. If you're a Jayhawks fan, stadium's back open, all the renovations. By the way, all 4 of these games look pretty solid on the weather. Got a very high-tech weather graphic in the bottom right, but doesn't look like anything. There might be a little rain at kickoff in Ireland. Other than that, we should be set to go. No real wind. Looks like the wind was only going to be a factor in Hawaii, and that has even calmed down. I just checked before we launched the show. So all set here. 80s, sunny, perfect weather for Jalen Daniels to go bonkers. This is where I talked about where it gets a little read between the lines. As of last week, quite a few players in Kansas that haven't really practiced yet since coming back to camp. And a little concerning since Fresno State really won't be practicing the forward pass this year that much. Expect a lot of running out of the Bulldogs. Really get ugly. So we got a few guys on defensive line, a couple backups here on tackles with Gage Keys and Blake Harold, and but they're supposed to see some significant playing time, according to Lance Leopold. And then D Miller is actually a starting defensive end. That would be a. They don't expect him to miss a extended amount of time, but he is not expected. But he could be a scratch from this game. Again, Big 12 hasn't implemented any sort of player availabilities for non-conference, so we're reading between the lines here. All right, we've got a couple line movements that we're dealing with here in this game. Tough for someone that gave out the over on Wednesday because it dropped from 50 to 49. Think we're looking at a little bit of pessimism for Kansas offense, and same for Fresno State really being one-dimensional. If they get behind, it could get ugly, folks. But that spread has jumped up to 13.5. Vegas really, and we'll see some sharp money coming in on Kansas and the under as well. When I flip over to what we're looking at for any sort of public betting, but I'm still on the over. I really, really believe in Jalen Daniels in his final year on what he is contending to do to get to the NFL somehow. So I think he'll be the best form that he's ever been in, and he's a talented quarterback. Just gotta, put the ball in the end zone. We can't settle for 3 if we're going for an over the first weekend of the year. All right. Let's share let's go back here. All right. Like I said, money and tickets coming in on Kansas. Already up to 14 in some areas. Obviously a key number. I mean, even 2 days ago, it was below 13. It was sitting at 12.5. So it is getting steamed up as we speak. Buyer beware over that 14 number. And then that over, call me Xander Joe, because a lot of tickets coming in, less money coming in. That over is still trending downwards. Let's take a look at any sort of easy now. Any sort of sharp movement. We got sharp money on Fresno. Believe that's a strike from earlier in the week. Yeah, and then obviously sharp money coming in on the under when you have significantly more tickets than you do money on your side. Let's go down to the line movements if we could, please and thank you. There we go. All right, yeah. It's just fluctuating, going back and forth. Seems like a good position to be confident in your side, even though the sharp money might be against you. All right. We're on the over. Let's ride. Give us the free point. We'll take it. Get it before it goes back up to 50. All right. Next game up. Let's just stick here before we go back to the sick graphics. All right. Next game up. Does anyone care about UNLV Idaho State? Anyone care? This is this is going to be a weird game. You've got two quarterbacks that are, by definition, taking the snap and are playing the quarterback position. But can they do it well? Whoa. With Anthony Calandria, transfer from Virginia, Timu Johnny Manziel. No offense to him as a person, but man, the guy just likes to run around and huck picks. Already got 20 interceptions on his young career. Then Alex Orji doesn't even have 200 yards passing in his career. Should have seen a little bit of an indication of what type of quarterback he would be with that last name. Just really attracted, kind of gravitating towards running into big piles of men. So versus throwing over the top of them. Thank you. Pause for applause for laughter. Thank you. Yeah, Obviously, a lot of money is going to be on UNLV. This is steamed up from 24.5 earlier in the week. Shit, I think it was even, what did it open at? 20, yeah, 21. I was going to say, so 22 on Tuesday. Tough when you got a FCS team that's 3-9 last year. They're returning some key players on offense. I myself, with all the question marks, and Dan Mullen already came out and said, we're playing Orgy, we're playing Calandria. They have basically a Colorado style of team put together where they are transfer heavy. So we need to build some chemistry here. And if we look at this number here, this is what's great about Action Network. You see all the different books shop around here in Tennessee, have this connected. I'm going to be on first half Idaho State. Don't really have much to put behind it besides a slow start and needing chemistry out of UNLV. Idaho State is obviously going to need to control the ball to have any sort of chance in this game. I could see Dinkin and Duncan keeping us under that 17.5 number first half. So that's going to be added to the card. Can't have all favorites and overs. That's a big no-no as a recovering Joe. That's how we stay profitable the last 2 years. 17.5, Idaho State. Let's go Bengals. All right. Other two games on the slate. Little CUSA, another in-conference action. That game is hovering when it comes to the spread between 9.5 and 10.5. So obviously would love the free key number. If you could find 9.5, don't pay for extra juice. And then a lot of people not trusting, which is fair. New quarterback at Western Kentucky, and same with a lot of new faces on Sam Houston State. Offense is going to be a question mark. Team that won 9 games last year. Your over-under in Vegas is 4.5 this year. Not a lot of faith here. Let's go down, see some sharp movements. Okay, yeah. Currently sitting at 10 as of noon today. Had a little bit of movement back. Yeah, total. Yeah. Total steamed its way up, and now it looks like it's coming back down. So 61.5, 62 is a lot of points, folks. Let me tell you something. I feel very confident. Haven't seen him play. Sam Houston State is not getting in the 30s. So we'll need Western Kentucky to get in the 40s in all likelihood to hit that over. That's a stay away from me. Big time stay away. And in fact, we're just going to go with the first half, 6.5. I think Western Kentucky has a little bit more put together than what Sam Houston's looking to figure out. I think their first 15 plays out of the entire postseason is going to be a little bit more polished than what Sam Houston has. No offense. Again, that steam line moving as you've seen up, and then weather looks pretty good in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Final game, Hawaii on the Big Island, hosting Stanford. This game is trending downwards, which is only fair for them taking away our midnight Hawaii game, kicking off at 6:30 local time here, Central. And that's like, shit, I think it's like 1:30 on the Big Island. They're getting an afternoon game? This is sacrilegious. Should be having a 11 p.m. game, in my opinion, for the entire fandom to kick off week 0. But it is what it is. Again, 2 teams not obligated to release any sort of injury report. Looks okay. Not seeing any names. Dove deep into the doldrums. Couldn't find anything. Weather's going to be great. These win numbers are actually down. Just checked. So they're going to be below double digits. Obviously, if you've come here before in the past, you've tailed any of us. Only weather that we truly despise is a heavy wind. And we should be good. Everything should be under double digits as of literally 30 minutes ago that I just checked for tomorrow. All right, lines, both on the same side. What could go wrong? Alex and I both like Hawaii. I'm fine with laying the points. He'd rather get a little juicier and take that money line. So when we look at what the network's given us, pretty fair, pretty fair. A little bit of extra money over the tickets wise on Hawaii, as that's fair. I mean, what does Stanford have? Yeah, Frank Reich, Andrew Luck on the coaching staff. They've got a lot of question marks, a lot of key players lost, a lot of new faces. They're going to be fighting to get out of the dungeon of the ACC. And we've got 67% of the tickets coming in, with only 51% of the money coming in. That's coming towards the over. So as we've seen, there's some sharp movement coming in. I believe we have some sharp indicators on the under. That's the spread. Sharp money coming towards Hawaii. Yeah. Yep. Sharp money coming in on the under as well. So looks like Bally, Tennessee. No, thank you. They're the only one maybe to get that too. Looks like minus 115. And then over under, yeah, still 50 and a half everywhere. It looks like Bally's giving away a couple free halves if you want to invest your money in Bally and hopefully get that out in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, last check here. Yep, everything's standing pat when it comes to the spread throughout the entire week. Here, nothing to really worry about there. Oh, yeah, this has been steamed way down. Wow, no fireworks on the Big Island week 1? What do we think, guys? This is concerning that we don't get an over in Hawaii week 0. Concerning. Not going to touch it. Give me Hawaii -2. That is everything we've got. No one chiming in with any shit talking or comments, any questions, concerns. Short week, light week, a lot of opportunities for money to be made. Outside of that, excited to be back. Excited to kick off our new weekly live show here at X Sports HQ. This has been College Football Last Call Live. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.